edge of Asia lies a wilderness so vast that its forests, mountains, rivers, and frozen plains seem to continue beyond the horizon. This is Siberia, a land shaped by extremes, where winter does not merely arrive, it takes control. For months, the sun remains low above the horizon. Its pale light reaches across the landscape, but offers little warmth. Rivers become silent roads of ice. Lakes disappear beneath thick frozen ceilings. Snow settles over mountains and forests until the entire world appears suspended in white. Yet Siberia is not empty. Beneath the snow, inside hollow trees, along frozen riverbanks, and among the dark conifers, life continues. Every animal that remains here has inherited a different answer to the same question. How can life survive in a world ruled by cold? Across the open tundra, wind moves without obstruction. Loose snow races over the ground in long silver streams, covering old trails and revealing new ones. The footprints of reindeer cross the frozen plain. Behind them, smaller tracks belong to foxes, hares, and secretive hunters moving beneath the weak winter light. Wild reindeer travel through this exposed country in search of lichen buried beneath the snow. Their broad hooves spread their weight and help uncover food. Dense fur traps warm air close to the body, while specialized passages inside the nose warm each breath before it reaches the lungs. For the youngest animals, winter is a constant test. A calf must remain close to its mother and the protection of the herd. Straying only a short distance could expose it to wind, exhaustion, or predators watching from the surrounding ridges. Gray wolves follow the movement of the herds. They rarely waste energy on a hopeless chase. Instead, they observe, travel, and wait. Winter rewards patience. A successful hunter must recognize weakness before committing valuable strength. Farther south, the tundra gradually gives way to the taiga, the immense northern forest. Spruce, larch, pine, and birch stand beneath the weight of snow. Their dark branches create pockets of shelter where the wind loses some of its force. A red fox listens beside a quiet clearing. Somewhere below, a vole moves through tunnels hidden beneath the snow. The fox cannot see its prey, but it can detect the faint sound of movement. A sudden leap carries it headfirst into the powder. Many attempts will fail, but persistence is essential in a season when every meal matters. Nearby, a mountain hare remains motionless beneath snow-covered willow. Its winter coat blends almost perfectly with the surrounding ground. Stillness is its first defense. Speed is the second. Above the forest floor, a great gray owl waits on a frost-covered branch. Its broad facial disc gathers sound, allowing it to locate animals moving beneath the snow. Wide wings carry it silently through the trees. In the darkness of the taiga, sound can reveal more than sight. Even smaller creatures have found refuge from winter. Beneath the snow lies a hidden layer of warmer air. Voles, insects, and plant roots survive inside this insulated world, protected from the most violent winds above. The smooth surface may appear lifeless, but below it runs a network of tunnels filled with constant movement. Along a frozen river, a solitary moose feeds on willow stems. Its immense body stores heat more effectively than that of smaller animals. Long legs carry it through deep snow, while a broad muzzle strips bark and buds from branches that remain above the drifts. But great size also brings great need. A moose must continue feeding for many hours to obtain enough energy from winter vegetation. As evening approaches, the brief daylight fades into blue and violet shadow. Frost thickens on branches. The temperature falls quickly. Animals retreat toward sheltered ground, while nocturnal hunters begin to move. A wolverine crosses a frozen stream alone. Powerful shoulders carry it through deep snow, and its wide paws prevent it from sinking too far. It may travel great distances in search of food, following scent across valleys where few other predators are willing to go. Above the mountains, the first stars emerge. The frozen landscape becomes silver beneath the moon. Somewhere in the forest, wolves begin to howl, their voices traveling across rivers and ridges. Siberia appears silent, but this silence is filled with communication, movement, and unseen struggle. Winter has transformed the land into a frozen dominion, but it has not defeated life. Every track across the snow, every breath rising into the cold air, and every shadow moving between the trees reveals a world still active beneath the ice. And beyond the open plains lies an even greater wilderness, the endless sea of the Taiga. From the frozen plains of the north, Siberia's wilderness expands into the largest forest region on Earth. Seen from above, the Taiga resembles a dark ocean of conifers, broken only by frozen rivers, wetlands, and distant mountain ridges. Winter settles differently here. The trees reduce the strength of the wind, but sunlight rarely reaches the forest floor. Snow gathers on branches and fills the spaces between roots. Beneath the canopy, the landscape becomes a maze of shadow, shelter, and hidden trails. For the animals of the taiga, survival depends upon knowing this maze. A sable moves lightly across a fallen trunk. Its dense brown coat protects it from the cold, while sharp claws provide balance among branches and icy bark. It searches constantly for seeds, insects, small mammals, and anything else the winter forest can provide. The sable rarely remains exposed for long. Hollow trees, rock crevices, and abandoned burrows offer shelter from wind and predators. In the taiga, even the smallest cavity may become essential. Nearby, Siberian jays move quietly between the conifers. During warmer months, they stored food throughout the forest. Now, memory guides them back to seeds and fragments hidden beneath bark or moss. Other birds travel together in mixed flocks. Tits, nuthatches, and goldcrests search each branch from a different angle. By remaining together, they improve their chances of finding food and detecting danger. A black woodpecker climbs the trunk of an old pine. Its powerful bill breaks through frozen bark, exposing dormant insects hidden inside decaying wood. When the woodpecker moves on, smaller birds arrive to inspect the openings it has created. In winter, one animal's search may create an opportunity for many others. At ground level, the forest is crossed by the tracks of wild boar. Their strong snouts push through shallow snow beneath oak and pine, searching for seeds, roots, and forgotten nuts. Adults remain close together, forming a defensive group around younger animals. The taiga offers food, but it also conceals predators. A Eurasian lynx moves between snow-covered trunks. Its spotted coat breaks apart against branches and shadow. Broad paws allow it to travel over soft snow with less effort than many of its prey. The lynx advances slowly. It may spend long minutes watching a single clearing before taking another step. A hare feeding among willow must be approached at close range. The lynx is powerful over a short distance, but it cannot afford a long and wasteful pursuit. The hare suddenly detects movement and disappears into the forest. The hunt ends before it truly begins. Failure is common here. For every successful pursuit, many more are abandoned. The ability to conserve energy is as important as the ability to attack. Along a river valley, a wolf pack travels beneath the trees. The animals move in single file, stepping into the same trail through the snow. This simple cooperation reduces the effort required from those behind. A pack is more than a group of hunters. It is a family. Older animals provide experience. Younger wolves learn through travel, play, and observation. Every movement through the forest strengthens the coordination that may later decide the outcome of a hunt. Yet the greatest predator in the Siberian forest does not depend upon a pack. In the Russian Far East, an Amur tiger walks through deep snow beneath Korean pine and spruce. Its orange coat appears bright in the open, but among winter grass, dark trunks, and filtered sunlight, the stripes divide its outline into fragments. The tiger travels alone through an enormous territory. It follows frozen streams, mountain slopes, and animal trails, leaving scent marks that communicate its presence to others. Dense winter fur protects its body, while large paws spread its weight across the snow. But even this powerful hunter must choose each opportunity carefully. A group of wild boar moves through the trees ahead. Adults are strong, alert, and capable of defending themselves. The tiger remains hidden, watching from the shadow of a fallen trunk. The distance is too great. The cover is poor. Without revealing itself, the tiger turns away. Strength alone does not rule the taiga. Survival belongs to the animal that understands when to move, when to wait, and when to disappear. As daylight fades, mist forms above a narrow opening in the frozen river. An otter rises through the dark water, its wet fur protected by a dense layer of trapped air. It climbs onto the snow, rolls briefly to remove moisture, and returns beneath the ice. Above, ravens fly toward their evening roosts. A great gray owl takes its place among the branches. The lynx continues along a hidden ridge, while the tiger follows a frozen stream deeper into the forest. From a distance, the taiga seems endless and unchanging. But within its shadows, thousands of lives are connected by food, shelter, memory, and movement. Every tree influences the snow beneath it. Every river opens a path through the forest. Every predator shapes the behavior of the animals it follows. This is not simply a forest. It is a living sea, deep, ancient, and almost without end.
As the sun retreats, Siberia enters the darkest and most demanding chapter of winter. Across this immense land, daylight now lasts only a few precious hours. The sun barely rises before beginning its slow descent once more. Within the forest, cold settles into every branch, hollow, and hidden trail. Even the smallest surfaces become transformed by the relentless work of frost. A single gust can release the weight of an entire night's snowfall. The wind reshapes the land continuously, erasing every trail and every sign of passage. For a brief moment, the snow records the secret journeys of the night. For the mountain hare, survival begins with becoming nearly invisible.
With the ground buried, even a frozen twig becomes a valuable source of energy.
Its powerful legs carry it swiftly across snow that slows many larger animals. Beneath the surface lies a hidden world, protected from the worst of the cold.
Here, small mammals continue their lives beneath an insulating roof of snow.
But no shelter is completely safe from a hunter built for narrow passages. The ermine follows its prey into tunnels where larger predators cannot enter. Success depends upon patience, precision, and the ability to follow the faintest sound. Across the open clearings, the red fox searches for movement hidden beneath the snow. Its ears can detect sounds so faint they are lost beneath the whisper of the wind. In a single calculated leap, the fox commits everything to one hidden target. Not every attempt succeeds, and winter allows little energy to be wasted. The sable searches every hollow, crevice, and fallen trunk for hidden food. When temperatures fall further, a small protected hollow may mean the difference between life and death. By reducing movement, the sable preserves the warmth stored within its dense winter coat. Hunger eventually forces the deer beyond the shelter of the trees. Beneath the frozen surface, only traces of nourishment remain. The young conserve energy by placing each step inside the path made by their mothers. In winter, every unfamiliar sound may signal the approach of danger. The moose carries enough size and strength to challenge even the deepest snow. For this giant of the taiga, frozen bark and willow buds must sustain an enormous body. Its passage creates trails that smaller animals may later use to save energy. Across the open country, wild reindeer continue their ancient winter journey. Dense fur and layers of fat protect them from temperatures that can fall far below freezing. Beneath the snow lies lichen, the fragile resource upon which the herd depends. When the wind strengthens, the herd becomes a living shield against the cold. Few creatures travel through winter with the determination of the wolverine. Its compact body and immense strength allow it to cross terrain that defeats many larger animals. A scent carried across the snow may lead to a meal many kilometers away. Another solitary hunter moves almost unseen through the forest. Broad paws spread its weight, allowing it to move quietly across the soft surface. For the lynx, patience is more valuable than speed. A few silent steps, and the hunter disappears once more into the forest. Above the forest floor, the great gray owl listens for life hidden beneath the snow. Its broad feathers soften the air, carrying it forward in near-complete silence. Failure is common, but winter offers no choice except to try again. Ravens read the landscape from above, searching constantly for opportunity. Intelligent and adaptable, they survive where many other birds cannot.
Once again, the atmosphere begins to change. Within minutes, familiar paths vanish behind a wall of snow. The deer retreat beneath the thickest branches, using the forest as their only shield. The hare lowers its body and waits, allowing the snow itself to offer protection. Inside its wooden refuge, the sable remains still until the storm has passed. Across the taiga, the storm covers a world larger than many nations. At last, the wind begins to loosen its grip. The forest emerges renewed, its history hidden beneath a flawless layer of white. Almost immediately, the smallest inhabitants return to their search for food. Hunger draws the deer back into the open before the light begins to fade. But the new snow also reveals the passage of a far larger hunter. The Amur tiger moves silently through the forest, conserving strength for the hunt ahead. As darkness returns, the temperature falls once more across the frozen dominion. In Siberia's deepest winter, every surviving heartbeat is a quiet triumph against the cold. Beyond the darkness, a new day begins within the hidden territory of Siberia's most powerful predator. This vast wilderness forms one of the last strongholds of the Amur tiger. Beneath these ancient trees, every shadow may conceal movement. The snow records the passage of a hunter, powerful enough to rule this forest alone. Each footprint reveals extraordinary size, weight, and silent control. At last, the master of the taiga steps into the open. Its dense coat protects it from temperatures that can fall far below freezing. Broad paws distribute its weight, helping the tiger cross snow that hinders smaller hunters. A single territory may cover hundreds of square kilometers of forest and mountain. The forest speaks through scent, revealing the presence of prey, rivals, and unseen boundaries. By leaving its scent, the tiger announces ownership of this remote valley. Claw marks create a visible warning that may remain long after the tiger has moved on. Other creatures watch its movements, aware that opportunity often follows a great predator. Intelligent ravens have learned to read the tiger's path through the forest. For the deer, every moment spent feeding in the open brings both nourishment and danger.
Their survival depends upon detecting the hunter before it draws near. The tiger observes from cover, measuring distance, wind, and every movement of the herd. Its stripes dissolve into the broken shadows of the winter forest. Each step is deliberate, because success depends upon remaining unseen until the final moments. A shift in the wind can reveal the hunter before the hunt has truly begun. One warning scent is enough to transform silence into alarm. The herd escapes before the tiger can close the distance. The tiger does not pursue. In deep snow, a wasted chase may cost more energy than it can afford. Patience guides the hunter onward toward another opportunity. Elsewhere in the forest, wild boar search for roots, acorns, and anything preserved beneath the snow. The adults open the frozen ground, allowing younger members of the group to feed.
Dense cover provides shelter, but it may also conceal the tiger.
Fresh tracks offer a new possibility. Predator and prey now follow the same hidden route through the forest. The tiger uses every tree, slope, and shadow to hide its approach. The distance is narrowing, but the boar remain protected by numbers and vigilance. The oldest animals recognize changes in the forest that younger ones may miss.
Once again, caution defeats surprise.
For a solitary hunter, failure is not unusual. It is simply part of survival. The day grows older, but the search cannot end. From higher ground, the tiger surveys a territory shaped by forests, rivers, and ancient mountains. A faint sound travels upward through the cold, still air. Below, a solitary deer has separated from the safety of the herd. Using the slope for cover, the tiger begins another careful approach. The hunter waits until the deer turns away. Only a few meters can be gained at a time. In this forest, even the sudden flight of a bird can become a warning. The moment arrives, and the silence is broken by sudden speed. For a few powerful seconds, predator and prey are pushed to their limits. The deer reaches cover, and the tiger abandons the chase. The brief effort has consumed valuable energy. Rest and grooming help restore calm before the journey continues. For a short time, the forest offers shelter from wind and falling snow. The calls of ravens may reveal an opportunity hidden beyond the trees. The taiga follows, guided by experience and instinct. Winter sometimes provides food without a hunt, the remains of an animal claimed by cold. For the tiger, this unexpected discovery may preserve enough strength for days. In this unforgiving season, Nothing that offers energy can be wasted. The ravens wait patiently, knowing the forest will eventually offer them a share. With renewed strength, the taiga returns to the endless patrol of its territory. Frozen rivers become natural pathways through the winter forest. Alone beneath the northern sky, the taiga remains the undisputed ruler of this silent dominion. Yet even the lord of the snow forest must begin each new day with the same uncertain search for survival. With the night behind him, the tiger begins another uncertain search for food. Somewhere within this immense territory, prey must be found before hunger weakens him further. Every kilometer traveled consumes energy that must eventually be replaced. The movements of ravens may reveal activity hidden beyond the trees. Experience teaches the hunter to follow every possible sign. Ahead, a herd of sika deer searches for the last food preserved beneath the snow. Each exposed patch offers only a few mouthfuls before the herd must move again. The tiger has found them, but discovery is only the beginning. From the shadows, he studies every animal in the herd. The young remain close to cover, guided by the experience of the adults. For the deer, feeding can never be separated from vigilance. He uses every fallen tree and shallow depression to hide his approach. A single careless step could alert the entire herd. For a few moments, the falling snow becomes an ally. The warning is faint, and uncertainty keeps the deer in place. The forest breaks his outline into fragments of shadow and color. He has reached the final position from which the hunt must begin. But the wind begins to turn against the hunter. A trace of unfamiliar scent reaches the herd. In an instant, stillness becomes movement. The tiger commits to a brief and explosive pursuit. For several seconds, every reserve of strength is called upon. The herd scatters, forcing the hunter to choose a single target. The uneven ground offers the roe deer a narrow chance to escape. The uneven ground offers the deer a narrow chance to escape. Both animals must cross each obstacle without hesitation. The deep snow steals a fraction of speed, and the distance begins to grow. The forest closes around the deer, ending the pursuit. Another failed hunt has consumed precious energy. For now, he must recover before continuing. Even the strongest predator must balance effort with rest. The herd gathers again, strengthened by numbers and shared vigilance. For the young, the escape becomes another lesson in survival. Hunger allows little time for discouragement. A new trail leads toward a stronger and more dangerous quarry. Wild boar travel together, protected by powerful adults and dense cover. Beneath the snow, roots and buried seeds provide the energy the group needs. The tiger watches carefully, aware that an adult boar can fight back. Sound reveals the position of each animal within the group. Using the slope as cover, he begins to close the distance. One animal falls several steps behind the protection of the group. For the first time today, the hunter is close enough to strike. But the boar senses that something has changed. The tiger launches before the moment is lost.
The forest canopy. For the Amur tiger, this is both an obstacle and an opportunity.
Power meets endurance in a violent burst of speed.
But the movements of prey are also written clearly across the white ground. The tiger advances along a frozen ravine.
The boar uses the trees to break the tiger's momentum.
Each step is placed carefully. Heavy paws spread its weight, allowing
Reunited
the animal
with
to
the
move
group,
with surprising
the boar
silence
is
for a
no
predator
longer
of
an
such
easy
size.
target.
Ahead, the forest opens into a narrow valley.
The adults form a living barrier of muscle, tusks, and determination.
Their ears turn constantly. Their dark eyes
The
search
risk
every
is
shadow.
too great,
In winter,
and the tiger
feeding
chooses
requires
restraint.
attention, but lowering the head for even a few seconds can create an opportunity for a
Survival
hidden hunter.
often
The
depends
tiger
upon
remains
knowing
motionless behind a
when not
snow-covered
to
trunk.
fight.
It cannot simply rush forward. A deer can accelerate
The day
quickly
is
across
fading,
open ground.
and the hunter
tiger must
remains
approach
without
close
a
enough
meal.
for a short and powerful attack. Wind carries the scent of the deer toward the predator.
Older tracks
The
offer
conditions
little
are
hope,
favorable.
but
The tiger
every
lowers
sign
its
must
body
be
until
examined.
Its chest nearly touches the snow. Its striped coat blends
In the
with
gathering
dark bark,
darkness,
amber
a
grass,
solitary
and blue
musk
winter
deer
shadow.
enters the tiger's
Slowly,
path.
it begins to move. One step, then
Small and
another.
alert,
The deer
it survives
continue
by
feeding.
remaining close
A
to
woodpecker
dense cover.
calls from deeper within the forest. Snow falls from a branch.
The tiger moves
One
with
deer
the wind,
raises its head,
hidden
but the
by
tiger
distance
has already
and
frozen
shadow.
in place. Stillness protects the hunter.
Night
After
gives the
several
hunter
moments,
another
the
chance.
deer returns to feeding. The tiger moves again. Every obstacle becomes useful. A fallen pine conceals the shoulders. A shallow
A single
depression
falling
hides the
branch of
legs.
snow
A screen of
interroots
dry
the
grass
silence.
breaks apart the outline of the body.
Instinct
The
sends the
distance
deer
closes,
into cover
but
before the
forest is
tiger
never
can strike.
controlled by only one animal. A raven circling above notices movement below.
For another day,
Its call carries
the
across
forest
valley.
has denied
Several
him
deer
success.
immediately lift their heads. The tiger remains hidden, but uncertainty
As
spreads
darkness
through the
closes
herd.
over the
The
taiga,
animals move closer
another
together.
hunter begins to
One
move
adult
through the
steps toward
frozen
open
kingdom.
ground, followed by the others. The opportunity
Beyond the
begins to
tiger's
disappear.
solitary path,
The tiger must
another
decide.
kind of hunter
Waiting may allow
moves
the
through
deer
the
to
frozen
escape
night.
without spending energy.
Unlike the
Attacking
tiger,
from too far away
wolves
could lead
survive
to
through
exhaustion.
cooperation,
For several
discipline,
seconds, the predator
and the
watches.
strength of the pack.
Then the deer begin running.
The leader breaks the
tiger
trail,
does not follow.
allowing those
A failed
behind
pursuit
to
across
save
deep
precious
snow would
strength.
consume strength needed for the next opportunity. In winter,
Every step is
restraint may
shaped
be
by
more
bodies
valuable than
built for
speed.
distance,
The hunter turns away
endurance,
and enters
and
the forest
cold.
once more.
At the front,
Hours later,
the
it finds
oldest
the tracks
animals
of wild
read the
boar
wind for
pressed
scent
deeply into the snow.
and danger.
The trail passes through dense undergrowth where visibility is limited.
A silent
This
decision
terrain
passes
offers
through the
concealment,
group,
but
and the
wild
pack
boar are
turns
dangerous
as
prey.
one.
A large sow can turn quickly and defend her young. Adult
Each
males
animal
possess
understands
powerful
its
shoulders
place
and
within the
sharp
moving
tusks.
formation.
Even the tiger must approach them with caution. The tracks lead toward a
Brief
hillside
gestures
where several
reinforce
boars
bonds
search
that
beneath
may
oak
determine
trees.
survival
They use
during
their
the hunt.
snouts to uncover acorns buried below the snow. The tiger watches
Even
from
in
behind
winter,
thick branches.
younger wolves practice
A
the
young
speed
boar
and
moves away from
coordination
the
they will
group.
one day
It follows an
need.
exposed route toward a cluster of rocks.
The pack
The hunter
protects
begins
its
to
less
circle
experienced
downhill,
members,
keeping the wind in
because
its favor.
every wolf
The approach
strengthens
is
the
slow.
whole.
The tiger disappears behind
Frozen
one
rivers
tree and
become
reappears
natural
behind another.
highways through the
prey
northern
cannot see
forest.
the movement, but an adult sow repeatedly raises her head. The group is alert. As the tiger
The
reaches
smooth
final
surface
cover,
offers
the
speed,
sow gives a
but
warning
little
call.
shelter from the wind.
boar gather tightly and move
The
toward
pack
denser
must
forest.
judge which surfaces
tiger
are strong
remains
enough
still.
to carry their weight.
Attacking a protected group would be too dangerous. Once again,
As
the
dawn
hunt ends
approaches,
before the chase
the
begins.
wolves enter a new
Many
valley.
days in a tiger's life are shaped by such moments. The predator is powerful, but power cannot replace
Far
judgment.
ahead, a
As
herd
evening
of
falls,
wild
snow
reindeer
begins
crosses
drifting
the
between
open
the
country.
trees. The tiger follows
They
an
must
old animal
feed
trail
whenever
toward a
conditions
frozen
allow,
river.
even
There,
in exposed
it finds
terrain.
fresh hoof prints from a solitary deer. The tracks are close together,
pack
suggesting
has
that
found
the
its
animal was
quarry,
walking slowly.
But the hunt
One
may
print
take
is
hours
slightly
to
uneven.
unfold.
The deer may be tired or injured, though no wound
The
is
leader
visible.
studies the herd,
The tiger
searching
follows.
for weakness,
The trail
age,
enters a
or
stand of young
isolation.
birch where snow lies deep between the trunks.
The wolves
A
follow
deer
without
appears
rushing,
ahead, feeding
conserving
beneath low
strength for the
branches.
pursuit
This
ahead.
time, the wind remains steady. No ravens call.
Natural
The ground
folds in the
provides
land
cover almost to the
conceal
edge of
their
the clearing.
approach.
The tiger lowers itself and advances. The distance
The herd
becomes
is
shorter
alert,
than before.
But the wind
deer
carries the
suddenly turns
wolves'
its head.
scent away.
For one suspended moment, predator and prey face the same
The
direction
pack
without
begins to
fully
spread,
seeing one another.
preparing to test the
Then the
herd
tiger
from different
launches.
directions.
Snow explodes beneath its paws. The
Some
deer
move
bounds
to the
toward
flanks,
trees.
while
The
others
tiger
maintain
follows with
pressure from
enormous
behind.
speed, using the tail to balance through the turn. Both animals
The
disappear
younger
behind
wolves
dense
must learn
branches.
to match the
The
endurance
forest
of the
conceals
adults.
the outcome. Only scattered snow and broken twigs remain
The pack
visible.
adjusts
In
its
the wild,
pace,
a
preserving
hunt is
the
not a
strength
contest
of
between
every
good
member.
and evil. It is a transfer of energy from one life to another. The deer
At
depends
last,
upon the forest.
the herd sees
tiger
the
depends
approaching
upon the
hunters.
deer, and both are shaped by winter. Later,
The
tiger
open
rests
plain
beside the
erupts
frozen
into
river.
movement.
Its breathing slows. Frost gathers around its whiskers. Above, the sky darkens into violet and silver.
Wolves are not built for
Tomorrow,
brief
the
speed
tracks will
alone,
begin again.
but for
Every hunt will
relentless
demand
pursuit.
patience. Every
As
approach
the
will
distance
test
grows,
judgment, and
one
every failure
older
will
animal
carry the
begins
tiger
to lose
deeper into
ground.
the white shadows of the forest. Across the northern plains, a
The
line
pack
of gray
recognizes
shades
the
moves
change
beneath the
and
falling
redirects
snow.
its effort.
The wolves travel in single file, each animal stepping into the
wolves do
trail
not
created
rush.
by the one ahead.
They force the
In
reindeer
deep
to
winter,
spend its remaining
this simple
strength.
formation conserves energy across many kilometers. This is a
For
pack
a
of the
moment,
north.
the
group
herd
is a
offers
family,
protection.
connected by experience, cooperation, and constant communication.
The pack guides
At the
the
front,
herd
an
toward
older
ground
wolf
where
selects the
escape
route.
will be more
Behind
difficult.
it move strong adults, younger animals, and individuals
Deeper
still learning
snow
the demands
begins
of
to
winter.
slow the heavier
Their territory
animals.
covers frozen rivers, open tundra, willow valleys, and the edge of the taiga.
The wolves
Food is
follow
never
the path
guaranteed.
opened by the
To
herd,
survive, the
conserving
pack must
energy
remain
with
mobile.
every stride.
The wolves pause on a ridge above a vast white plain.
One
In the
misstep
distance,
may
a
be
herd of
enough
wild
to
reindeer
change the
crosses
outcome.
valley. Dark antlers rise above pale backs, while calves
The
remain
adults
among
keep
the
the young
adults.
close,
The wolves
even as the
watch.
pack draws
They do not
nearer.
immediately run toward the herd. First, they study its movement. They search for an animal
But
separated
the older
from the group.
animal can
One
no
walking
longer match
slowly
the
or struggling
climb.
through deep snow. A hunt begins with observation. The pack
The
descends
wolves
from
begin
the
to
ridge and
close
follows
the available
reindeer at a
routes of
distance.
escape.
Wind carries their scent away from the herd. Low
Driven to a
ground
stand,
conceals much of
the
their
reindeer
movement.
turns to
The
defend
reindeer
itself.
continue forward. Several adult wolves spread slightly apart. They
The
are not
antlers
yet
remain
chasing.
dangerous,
Each
and
animal
the pack
is positioning
avoids
itself according
unnecessary
to
risk.
terrain, wind, and the movement of the herd. A young wolf
The herd
moves too
moves
far
on,
ahead.
leaving
An
the
older
exhausted animal
immediately passes
alone.
it and forces the pace to slow. Experience controls excitement.
The wolves test
Beginning a
its
pursuit
strength,
too early would
waiting
warn
for
the entire
fatigue
herd.
to weaken its
For nearly
defense.
an hour, the wolves continue following. Then one reindeer
After the
calf
long
slips on
pursuit,
wind-polished
exhaustion
ice, but
becomes the
quickly
pack's
regains its
greatest
balance.
advantage.
Its mother remains beside it. The adults around them
At
close
last,
the gap.
the
The
long
pack does not
test of
attack.
endurance
A protected
reaches
calf
its
inside a
inevitable
healthy herd
conclusion.
is difficult to isolate. The wolves conserve their
In
strength
Siberia,
and continue searching.
one life sustains
Farther
many
along the
others
valley,
through the hardest
reindeer
season.
approach deep snow accumulated behind a line of willows.
The pack feeds
Their
according to
formation
rank,
stretches as animals
restoring
choose
the
different
energy
paths
spent
through the
during the
drifts.
pursuit.
The wolves recognize the change.
Order
They
within the
accelerate.
pack continues
The herd
even
begins
after the
running,
hunt.
throwing powder into the air. Adult reindeer use their broad hooves to cross the snow.
The young must
but the
wait,
deepest
learning
sections
patience
slow them.
as well as
The wolves
pursuit.
approach from behind and from the side. Their purpose is
Above
not
them,
simply to catch the
ravens
nearest
wait
animal.
for the
They
opportunity
attempt to
the
separate
pack will
one
leave
individual
behind.
from the protection of the herd. A young reindeer turns toward
Once
open ground.
Food is
Two
shared,
wolves follow,
strengthening
while the
bonds
rest of the
between
pack
adults
maintains
and
pressure
younger
from
members.
behind. But the animal reaches firmer snow. Its
For the
speed
young,
increases.
this
The
meal
wolves
offers
begin
both
to fall
nourishment
behind.
and another lesson
After a
in the
short
power
pursuit,
of cooperation.
the lead wolf stops. The others quickly abandon the chase.
With hunger
Continuing would
eased,
waste too much
the
energy.
pack rests
The reindeer
beneath the
herd
protection
disappears
of the
beyond
forest.
the ridge. The hunt has failed.
Gentle
but the
grooming
pack remains
restores the
together.
bonds that hold the
Failure is
family
expected.
together.
In winter, wolves may travel for days before
Play
finding
prepares
a
the
suitable
young for the
opportunity.
coordination
They
and
continue
restraint
toward the
required
Taiga.
in future
At the
hunts.
forest edge, tracks reveal that wild boar have passed recently.
For one
The
evening,
wolves follow the trail
the pack
into a
has
sheltered
earned a
valley
brief measure
where
of
snow is
security.
shallower beneath pine branches. A group of boar feeds
But a
among
wolf
exposed
pack
roots.
can never
The
remain
wolves
still
approach
for
from
long.
several directions, but the adult boar detect them quickly. The animals
Their
form a
voices
defensive
carry
line
across
around
the
the younger
valley,
members,
announcing
facing outward.
unity,
A
territory,
large sow
and
moves
life.
forward. The wolves hesitate.
Together, the
Wild
wolves
boar
vanish
can
into the
injure a predator
forest,
with a sudden
while
charge.
other solitary
The pack
hunters
tests
begin
the
their
group,
own journeys
moving
through the
close
snow.
enough to observe its reaction,
Beyond
but
the
remaining
strength of the
beyond
pack,
immediate danger.
Siberia is
The boar
also
hold
home
their
to
position.
hunters that survive
After
entirely
several
alone.
minutes, the wolves withdraw.
Across this immense
Cooperation
forest,
does not eliminate
solitary
risk.
predators
It
patrol
allows the pack
territories
to
separated
recognize
by
when risk has
distance,
become too
scent,
great.
and
As
silence.
darkness arrives,
The Eurasian
wolves
lynx
rest
is
beneath a
perfectly
stand of
adapted to
spruce.
move
They
quietly
curl into
across
the snow,
deep and
using their
unstable snow.
tails to cover their noses. Younger wolves lie
Its
close
wide
to
feet
older
act
family
like
members.
natural
The
snowshoes,
temperature falls.
distributing weight
During
across
night,
the surface.
one wolf raises its head and howls. Others answer.
In
The
this
sound
quiet
moves
world,
across the frozen
the
forest
slightest
and along
sound
the river valley.
can reveal
It
hidden
keeps the
life.
pack connected and warns neighboring wolves that
Ahead,
this
a
territory
mountain
is
hare
occupied.
searches for food
Before
among
sunrise,
the frozen
the family
branches.
begins traveling again. They cross a frozen stream where otter
Camouflage
tracks disappear
hides the
into a
hare
hole
from
in the
distant
ice.
eyes,
They climb
but
a ridge
not from
marked
the
by
lynx's
hare and
patient
fox trails.
attention.
Then, near an open meadow, they find the scent of reindeer once more.
The lynx closes
small
the
group has
distance,
separated from
one
the main
silent
herd.
step at a
One
time.
adult appears weak, walking behind the others. The
Broken
wolves become
shadows and
silent
pale
and lower
fur
their bodies.
dissolve the hunter
This time,
into the forest.
the opportunity is different. The pack follows through scattered
One
trees,
unfamiliar
using the
sound
forest
is
to
enough
conceal
to
its
interrupt the
approach.
meal.
When the reindeer enter open ground, the wolves begin
The
running.
hare reacts
The
first,
healthy animals move
escaping
away
before the
quickly.
lynx can close the
slower
final
individual
distance.
falls behind. Several wolves approach from different angles.
For a
One
solitary
forces the
hunter,
reindeer to change
failure
direction.
must be
Another
accepted
blocks the
without
route back
wasting
toward the
further
herd.
energy.
Snow rises around them
The
as
search
pursuit
resumes
moves
beneath
beyond
the weak
trees.
light of
The
morning.
camera remains at a respectful distance. The struggle disappears behind a low ridge,
Open ground
leaving only the
offers
sound
fewer
of
hiding
wind across
places,
the plain.
but also
For
clearer
the
signs of
wolves,
movement.
success will feed the entire family. Ravens may arrive
The
first,
smallest
followed
trails
by foxes
reveal
and
an
smaller
active world
scavengers.
beneath the
In
surface.
winter, one hunt can support many lives beyond the pack itself.
Different hunters share
Later,
the same
the wolves
forest,
rest together
each
beneath the
searching
pale
within its
morning
own
sun.
layer of the
The
landscape.
younger animals have learned another lesson: when to follow,
Higher
when
ground
to wait,
offers a wider
and when
view
to trust the
and a place
movements
to
of the
rest
family.
beyond the wind.
No wolf survives the northern winter alone for long. The strength of the pack lies
Even
not
while
only in
resting,
numbers,
the
but in
lynx
shared
remains
knowledge
alert
passed
to
from
every
one
movement
generation to
below.
the next. Across the frozen wilderness,
Its life
their tracks
depends upon
continue side by
solitude,
side.
secrecy,
And where those
and
tracks
control
lead,
of a
the
vast
story
hidden
of survival
territory.
moves forward.
Farther north, another solitary traveler advances with extraordinary determination. Compact, muscular, and tireless, the wolverine is built for difficult ground. Its sense of smell can detect food hidden beneath snow or carried from far across the valley. The signs left by scavenging birds may lead toward a hidden source of food. The ravens return, but the wolverine is unwilling to surrender its discovery. A simple warning is enough to keep the smaller scavengers at a distance. Once fed, the wanderer returns to its endless patrol. In the lower forest, another solitary hunter relies on adaptability rather than strength. The red fox listens for movement beneath the insulating snow. Tiny changes in sound reveal the exact position of prey below. A precise leap turns hearing into action. This attempt fails, but the fox cannot afford to stop searching.
Along the riverbank, flowing water creates another source of opportunity.
The fox examines every scent, whether carried by water, wind, or snow. Adaptability allows the fox to use resources other hunters may overlook. A modest meal is carried into shelter, away from watching eyes. Within the dense forest, the sable searches both the ground and the trees. Its slender body allows it to explore places inaccessible to larger predators. Stored seeds provide valuable energy when animal prey cannot be found. Above the snow, the branches become a second network of pathways. Every hollow may contain food, shelter, or the scent of another animal. Few boundaries separate the forest floor from the canopy for such an agile hunter. Before darkness deepens, the sable finds protection beneath an old tree. Stillness allows the animal to preserve warmth through the coldest hours. As evening returns, the smallest of these solitary hunters becomes active. Its winter coat offers near-perfect concealment in the fading light. Speed and flexibility allow it to enter the narrowest hidden passages. Beneath the snow, hunter and prey move through a world invisible from above. Scent guides the ermine where sight can offer little help.
Moments later, it returns to the surface and resumes its search.
In the same forest, predators move past one another without ever meeting.
Their trails overlap, yet each hunter follows a solitary path through the frozen dominion.
Once again, the weather begins to close over the forest. Each species seeks protection in a different place, guided by instinct refined across generations. By nightfall, the snow begins to erase every sign of their separate journeys. Beneath this silent white covering, an entirely different world continues to move. Beneath Siberia's silent surface, life continues inside a hidden world of tunnels and warmth. Small openings reveal entrances to a network almost completely concealed from the world above. Snow traps air between its crystals, creating insulation against the deadly cold outside. For the red-backed vole, this sheltered maze provides food, movement, and protection. Every seed collected becomes a reserve against the long weeks still ahead. Hidden chambers preserve food close to the safety of the nest. Inside a woven nest, body heat can be preserved through the coldest hours. These passages connect every essential part of life beneath the snow. Occasionally, hunger forces the vole into the exposed world above. The journey lasts only seconds, but every moment outside brings danger. Above the tunnels, every passing predator sends vibrations through the roof. The inhabitants fall silent until the threat has passed. But the fox can hear movements that remain invisible beneath the snow. A precise leap breaks through the roof of the hidden world.
The tunnels branch in many directions, and the first attempt fails.
Below, the vole escapes through passages designed for speed and concealment. The hunter listens again, searching for another point of weakness. For now, the world beneath the snow remains beyond its reach. Once the vibrations fade, life begins to move again. The vole is not alone. A smaller and more restless hunter shares these passages. The shrew must feed constantly, even during the darkest winter days. Dormant insects become valuable food hidden beneath frozen wood. Its fast metabolism allows little time for rest. Different species share the same sheltered layer, each following its own route. Warm air escaping from below reveals how effectively the snow preserves heat. Even sunlight reaches this hidden realm, filtered into a dim blue glow. Each snowfall strengthens the roof and deepens the insulation below. But shifting snow can collapse passages, demanding constant repair. A reopened route restores access between food stores and shelter. Above them, giants cross the same landscape without ever seeing the lives below. A single heavy step can damage the fragile ceiling of the hidden world. The inhabitants retreat until the disturbed passage becomes stable again. But one predator is built to enter this concealed world directly. The ermine slips beneath the surface with extraordinary speed. Its long, slender body is perfectly shaped for pursuit inside narrow passages. The tunnel system suddenly becomes a maze of escape routes. Where sight is limited, scent becomes the hunter's guide. Multiple exits give the prey a narrow chance to survive. The vole reaches the open air, where different dangers await. From above, another hunter has noticed the sudden movement. Broad wings carry the owl forward without warning. For one small animal, escape from one predator leads directly into the path of another. In this hidden food web, every movement carries consequence. Below, the ermine finds only an abandoned chamber. The search continues through passages extending far beneath the clearing. Elsewhere in the network, another family remains protected by distance and chance. Shared body heat helps the smallest animals endure the long winter night. Their warmth creates a delicate boundary between liquid vapor and frozen snow. Above, a storm drives temperatures lower and erases every visible trail. Only a few centimeters beneath the storm, the hidden world remains remarkably calm. Stored food allows them to remain below until the weather improves. For the shrew, rest can last only a short time before hunger returns. By morning, the storm has transformed the landscape once again. New entrances must be opened before air and food routes can be restored. Beneath the renewed surface, predator and prey continue their separate work. The ermine finally returns to the surface, its hunt still unfinished. Above and below, lives of every size remain connected by the same frozen landscape. From above, the clearing appears silent and lifeless. Yet beneath the snow, an entire community continues its struggle for survival. Beyond this secret world, the great herds are beginning another ancient journey across the ice. Across the frozen north, wild reindeer begin another journey, written into their lives by generations of survival. The herd may contain hundreds of animals, each following routes older than memory. Broad hooves carry their weight across snow that would trap many other animals. Every step tests the strength of the surface beneath them. The largest males travel along the margins, watching the open country for danger. Mothers remain close to their young, guiding them across unfamiliar winter ground. By stepping into her tracks, the calf spends less energy breaking a path of its own. The herd follows the land downward, toward temporary shelter from the wind. Narrow passages bring the animals closer together, forming a moving river of fur and antlers. Together, their movement becomes a steady pulse across the silent valley. Their coats trap warm air close to the body, protecting them from extreme cold. Every feature of the reindeer has been shaped by the demands of the north. A sheltered hollow offers the first opportunity to feed. Beneath the frozen surface lies the lichen upon which the herd depends. Slow-growing lichen stores just enough energy to sustain life through winter. The animals feed quickly, because changing weather may soon force them onward. The young still depend upon adults to reach food beneath the deepest crust. From above, other inhabitants of the north watch the herd's progress. Ravens remain close, searching for insects, disturbed seeds, and opportunity. Without any visible command, the herd begins to move again. The journey continues toward distant feeding grounds beyond the ridge.
The ascent is slow, and every animal must maintain its place in the line.
For the youngest travelers, each climb demands more strength than the last. The mother adjusts her pace, keeping the calf within the protection of the herd. Beyond the ridge lies the next obstacle, a river sealed beneath winter ice. The leaders approach first, testing a crossing that must support the entire herd. The first steps are slow because ice changes with current, pressure, and temperature. Beneath the surface, trapped air and flowing water reveal the river's hidden movement. Once the leaders reach the far bank, the herd begins to follow. The frozen river becomes a broad, white road beneath hundreds of moving bodies. Where wind has removed the snow, the smooth surface becomes difficult to cross. For the calf, the hard and unfamiliar surface presents a new challenge. A brief fall costs time, but the young animal rises before the herd moves beyond reach. Nearby adults reduce their pace, surrounding the youngest traveler.
Behind the herd, wolves have discovered the migration route.
The pack studies the moving herd, searching for any animal separated from the group. The distance begins to close before every reindeer has reached the far bank. The rear of the herd responds first, accelerating across the exposed river. The wolves enter the crossing, relying on endurance rather than sudden speed. The main herd reaches land, but several animals remain exposed behind it. At the far bank, one older animal begins to lose ground. The pack immediately recognizes the weakest point in the moving herd. For a moment, nearby adults hesitate between the herd and the animal left behind. A strip of firmer ground offers the strength needed for one final climb. The reindeer reaches the protection of the group, and the wolves abandon the chase. Pursuing farther would cost more energy than the opportunity is worth. Predator and prey separate once more, each continuing a different struggle. Ahead, a greater threat begins to build across the open country. The wind strengthens, forcing the herd to turn their bodies against the storm. Frost gathers quickly wherever warm breath meets frozen air. As visibility disappears, the herd draws closer together. The strongest animals face the wind, protecting the young within the moving mass. The calf remains beside its mother, guided by scent and touch, when sight is no longer enough.
Within the herd, movement itself becomes the only direction. At last, the leaders find a shallow hollow protected from the strongest gusts. The herd gathers within the hollow, conserving energy until the storm begins to weaken. Some rest, while others remain standing along the exposed edge. Protected by her warmth,
the calf survives another dangerous night on the migration route. By dawn, the storm releases its grip, revealing a world remade in white. As the reindeer continue north, another giant waits within the silent forest ahead. Within the northern forest stands a giant, shaped by snow, silence, and generations of endurance. The moose is the largest member of the deer family, built to cross terrain that stops many smaller animals. Long legs lift its body above deep snow and tangled undergrowth. Broad hooves spread its weight and provide grip beneath an unstable surface. A dense coat and powerful body preserve warmth through the coldest hours. Its antlers are symbols of strength, grown and carried at great energetic cost. With grasses buried beneath the snow, willow stems become an essential winter food. Frozen bark and buds provide little energy, yet they must sustain an enormous body. As it feeds, the moose reshapes the landscape for smaller animals that follow. Its path becomes an easier route through snow for animals far smaller than itself. Elsewhere in the valley, a mother guides her young through its first demanding winter. The mother breaks the trail, allowing her calf to conserve strength. Though nearly grown, the calf still depends upon experience it has not yet gained. By following her choices, the calf learns which plants remain useful in winter. Even feeding requires practice when every branch is stiff with frost. The mother's size brings food within reach of her younger companion. Their route follows places where shelter and winter browse remain close together. Frozen wetlands offer food, but their surfaces demand careful judgment. The mother tests the surface before leading the calf forward. In shallow wetlands, ice may be strong in one place and fragile only steps away. The calf trusts the path chosen before it. Beyond the marsh, dense spruce offers protection from the cutting wind. The forest canopy reduces snowfall and preserves a pocket of calmer air. The young animal rests while its mother continues to watch the forest. Large size offers protection, but vigilance remains essential. Wolves patrol the same valley, but an adult moose is a dangerous opponent. Instinct places the mother between the calf and every possible threat. A lowered head and powerful forelegs make her warning clear. The wolves choose easier ground, unwilling to risk injury against such strength. Only when the danger passes does the calf rise again. Farther south, the solitary bull continues his own search for food. Long legs allow it to cross fallen timber without breaking its measured pace. Young aspen provides both bark and branches within reach. Its height allows access to food beyond the reach of smaller deer. The marks left behind become part of the forest's winter record. smaller animals investigate what the giant has disturbed.
The weather begins to change before the bull reaches shelter. Open ground offers little defense against the strengthening wind. Warm breath freezes almost immediately upon hair and skin. The forest arrives just as the storm closes over the valley.
Dense branches slow the wind and provide the only available shelter.
Heavy snow must be removed before it freezes against the antlers. Stillness preserves energy, while the storm spends its strength outside. The mother and calf endure the same storm within their own protected hollow. Her body creates a narrow refuge from the strongest gusts. Across the valley, every animal becomes isolated within the storm.
Hours later, the wind begins to loosen its hold.
The landscape outside has changed, and every familiar route must be opened again. Its immense strength cuts a path through snow laid down by the storm. Once again, smaller travelers benefit from the passage of the giant. By the following dawn, the mother and calf return to the open forest.
The fresh snow tests the young animal's balance and strength.
Each challenge strengthens the calf for the winters still to come.
Moose are usually solitary, yet good feeding sites may briefly bring them together. Even when sharing the same basin, each animal preserves its own space.
From the ridge, the solitary bull watches the valley below.
Winter offers little reason to challenge others, and the giant remains alone. Beyond the forest, higher mountains hold another world of cold and survival.
There, above the tree line, life clings to cliffs, ridges, and wind-swept stone. Beyond the kingdom of the moose, Siberia rises into a harsher and more isolated realm. These isolated ranges form a world far removed from the sheltered valleys below. Water that once thundered through the gorge now hangs motionless in towers of ice.
Inside the frozen cavern, light is filtered into colors rarely seen on the open mountain. Beneath the ice, water continues its hidden journey toward the forests far below.
For a few minutes each morning, the frozen peaks are transformed by fire-colored light.
Without trees to interrupt it, the wind carves the snow into constantly changing forms. Even bare stone supports life, growing so slowly that a single patch may be centuries old.
The rock ptarmigan survives by becoming almost indistinguishable from the snow. Higher on the slope, fresh tracks reveal the passage of animals built for vertical ground. Siberian ibex occupy cliffs where few predators can follow with confidence. Each hoof is shaped to grip hard stone while remaining flexible along its outer edge. This specialized design allows the ibex to cross surfaces that appear almost impossible. The young practice balance through play, preparing for a life spent above the valleys.
The youngest remain close to their mothers, learning safe routes through dangerous terrain. Above the cliffs, another master of the mountains searches from the sky. From a high perch, the eagle can inspect several valleys at once. With barely a wing beat, it converts height into effortless speed. The adults are too large to fear the eagle, but the youngest remain cautious. A shallow overhang offers protection from both wind and watchful eyes. Across Siberia's higher ranges, snow sheep occupy slopes exposed to the full force of winter. The group follows routes where each safe step has been tested by the animal ahead. For the young, every crossing is a lesson in balance and trust.
Mature rams carry heavy horns formed through years of growth.
Even outside the breeding season, brief contests help maintain order within the group. The mountains themselves remain unstable, releasing accumulated snow without warning. Experience guides the herd away from slopes where snow has begun to shift. Hidden canyons preserve extraordinary formations created by water, mineral, and cold. In sheltered basins, frozen lakes hold the colors of sky and ancient ice. The surface reflects the mountains above, while preserving signs of water below. Ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere bend sunlight into a circle of color. On the coldest days, the sun may appear to divide across the frozen sky. Above the cloud layer, the highest peaks stand separated from the world below. Among the rocks, the pika survives on plants collected before winter closed the slopes.
Where small mammals find shelter, a slender hunter is rarely far away. The mountain hare also climbs above the forest in search of exposed winter browse. At the edge of the trees, the lynx patrols the boundary between forest and mountain. As the light fades, warmth leaves the exposed slopes with extraordinary speed.
After darkness falls, the northern sky adds its own quiet color to the frozen peaks. But beauty in the mountains can change into danger within minutes.
The ibex abandon exposed ledges and gather beneath natural stone.
Even the eagle must remain grounded when the wind becomes too strong for flight.
The storm crosses the high country without obstacle, covering entire ranges in moving snow. Within the whiteout, distance, direction, and depth become almost impossible to judge. As suddenly as it arrived, the storm begins to release the mountains. The storm leaves behind new structures, more delicate than anything made by stone. The ibex return to the open slopes as soon as the wind begins to fade. Fresh snow conceals old paths, forcing the herd to test the mountain again. With the air calm again, the eagle rises to inspect the renewed landscape. Among the new tracks lies the mark of a predator rarely seen, even in this open country. Broad paws and dense fur identify a hunter adapted to extreme cold and unstable slopes. the trail climbs toward broken cliffs, where the mountain itself provides concealment. For a moment, the ghost of the mountains appears against the evening sky. Its coat mirrors stone, shadow, and snow, making the animal vanish while still in sight. From the frozen ledge, the leopard watches the movements of the herds below.
A few silent steps are enough for the mountain to hide its rarest hunter once more.
Within these forgotten peaks, the hidden leopard begins a solitary journey through the kingdom of snow. Leaving the realm of the snow leopard, the golden eagle descends toward the forests and frozen valleys below.
Rising air along the cliffs allows the eagle to travel great distances with little effort.
From the sky, its vision can detect the smallest movement across the snow. Every trail below becomes part of a landscape the eagle can read from above. The hare remains alert to every shadow that crosses the open ground. Stillness allows the hare to disappear against the frozen slope. The eagle continues onward, searching several valleys before choosing where to descend. A high stone perch offers a commanding view of the river corridor. Here, mountain, forest, and water meet within a single hunting territory.
Within the forest, another winged hunter relies not on height, but on silence. Its broad facial disc directs the faintest sounds toward hidden ears. Beneath the owl, small mammals move through tunnels concealed by snow.
The hunter compares each sound until one location becomes clear. Specialized feathers soften the movement of air across its wings. The owl strikes through the snow into a world it cannot see. This attempt fails, but the forest offers many more chances.
As daylight strengthens, the owl continues its patient search.
Above the trees, the Eurasian eagle owl occupies a world of cliffs and open valleys. Its powerful wings are built to carry a much heavier hunter through the night. The eagle owl becomes active as daylight fades from the valley. On the forest floor, the hazel grouse depends upon concealment rather than speed.
Birch buds provide one of the few dependable foods remaining above the snow.
A movement in the canopy sends the grouse deeper beneath the branches. The snow itself becomes a refuge from wind and watchful predators. Only centimeters below, the bird waits in warmer and quieter air.
Beyond the forest, the snowy owl occupies the exposed country of the north.
Dense feathers cover almost every part of its body, including its legs and feet.
In flight, the owl becomes part of the storm-colored landscape. Beneath the tundra snow, lemmings form the foundation of an entire food web. The owl waits for the faint movement of prey beneath the surface.
A short flight positions the hunter above the hidden trail.
In the shelter of the drift,
the hunt reaches its conclusion, unseen. A successful hunt provides the energy needed to endure another frozen night. As darkness returns, the owl remains exposed beneath the northern sky.
Not every winter bird hunts across open snow. Some search within the trees themselves.
A reinforced skull and powerful neck allow repeated blows against frozen wood.
Beneath the bark, dormant insects provide hidden nourishment.
Smaller birds benefit from openings created by the larger woodpecker.
Agility allows the smallest birds to search branches from every angle.
Mixed flocks improve the chances of finding food and detecting predators.
The Siberian jay remains within the northern forest throughout the year. Food hidden during richer seasons becomes vital when snow covers the forest floor. Large animals expose seeds and insects that smaller creatures quickly investigate. The nutcracker depends upon the energy-rich seeds of the Siberian pine. Thousands of seeds are hidden across the forest and remembered with remarkable accuracy. Seeds that remain forgotten may one day become the next generation of forest. Ravens travel widely, connecting mountains, forests, and river valleys. Ravens often follow wolves, aware that a successful hunt may create opportunity. Complex calls allow ravens to share information across great distances. Where water remains open, the dipper occupies a world unlike that of any other winter bird. It enters water cold enough to overwhelm most birds within minutes. Beneath the current, the bird uses its wings and feet to remain close to the riverbed.
Aquatic insects provide food throughout a season when the land remains frozen. Dense plumage traps air and protects the bird from the freezing current.
Across every habitat, birds respond quickly to the approach of another storm. Each species seeks protection according to the world it knows best. With the return of light, wings begin to move across the renewed landscape. From the mountain sky to the river below, Siberia's winged survivors follow the frozen waterways into the heart of winter. Beneath the eagle stretches a frozen river that connects mountains, forests, and distant northern plains. Although its surface appears motionless, the river remains a living corridor beneath the ice. Temperature, current, and pressure shape the frozen surface into a constantly changing map. During the coldest nights, moisture freezes into patterns as intricate as leaves. Only a short distance below the frozen roof, water continues to move downstream. Cold water fish remain active where the current still carries oxygen. The grayling's broad dorsal fin helps maintain control within the moving water. Behind rocks, sheltered currents allow fish to conserve energy through the winter. Even the smallest river inhabitants remain part of the food web beneath the frozen surface. Above the ice, predators watch for any opening that reveals the water below.
From a riverside perch, the eagle searches for places where current has weakened the ice. Its powerful vision can detect movement through gaps no wider than a branch.
Where the current is strongest, open water survives even during the deepest cold.
The dipper enters the current to search for insects among the stones.
Its wings help hold the bird against water and powerful enough to carry smaller animals downstream. The same opening attracts a larger hunter adapted to both water and ice. Dense fur traps a layer of insulating air close to the otter's skin. Beneath the surface, the otter becomes fast, flexible, and almost effortless. Fish retreat into deeper water as the hunter explores the riverbed. The first pursuit ends when the fish reaches shelter among the stones. Between dives, the otter returns to the surface to breathe and remove excess water. Dry snow helps remove moisture before it can freeze within the fur. Sliding reduces effort and allows the otters to travel quickly between water and shelter.
A single patch of open water may sustain many animals along an otherwise frozen river.
Other hunters inspect the riverbank for anything the otters may have left behind. The snow records how many different lives depend upon this narrow opening. The frozen river provides an easier route through the dense forest. For the lynx, the river becomes a boundary crossed during the search for prey. Broad feet allow the lynx to move where smaller paws might break through the crust. The river shifts below, producing sounds that travel for great distances through the ice. Rapid temperature changes force the frozen surface to expand and fracture. Experience guides the lynx toward ice protected by shallower water and accumulated snow. River islands support willow growth, attracting the largest browsers of the forest. Willow buds provide essential food for the mother and her growing calf. The young animal follows roots tested by the greater weight of its mother. From the forest edge, wolves assess the animals gathered on the island.
The mother detects the danger and immediately positions herself between predator and calf.
A healthy adult moose is powerful enough to make the pack reconsider. The wolves preserve their strength for a safer opportunity. The river offers the pack a direct route through territories divided by dense forest. Following the same line reduces the cost of crossing deep snow. Fresh hoofprints reveal that a small reindeer group passed only recently. The reindeer have chosen the river valley for shelter from the mountain wind. For now, the hunters remain too distant to begin a chase. Dense trees offer the reindeer protection, and the pack continues along the easier route. Farther downstream, the river enters a canyon shaped by centuries of freezing and thawing. Groundwater emerges through cracks in the rock and freezes into enormous curtains. Each layer preserves fragments of the seasons that came before. Even narrow branches become pathways above the frozen water. Food carried by wind and water gathers along the river's edge. As evening falls, the canyon gathers the last colors of daylight. Moonlight penetrates the clearest ice and returns as a faint blue glow. Below the darkness, the river's inhabitants continue their quiet movement. For a brief time, the frozen river mirrors the movement of the northern sky. The changing wind begins to erase every trail left during the day. Animals along the river respond before the storm reaches the valley. Snow, mist, and darkness merge until the river itself disappears. By morning, the river emerges beneath another layer of winter. Beyond the river lies a deeper and more ancient body of water, the frozen heart of Siberia. Beneath Baikal's frozen surface lies an ancient freshwater world, shaped by isolation and extraordinary depth. The frozen roof filters daylight into soft blue beams that slowly fade with depth. The Nerpa uses cracks and breathing holes as gateways between two very different worlds. Sensitive whiskers detect vibrations produced by fish moving through the cold water. Along submerged cliffs, freshwater sponges form living gardens unique to Baikal. These sponges filter the surrounding water while providing shelter for smaller animals. Baikal supports an extraordinary diversity of amphipods, adapted to different depths and habitats. Across the lake bed, these small crustaceans recycle organic material and feed larger animals. Even beneath winter ice, microscopic algae continue capturing the limited light. Tiny copepods help filter the water and transfer energy through Baikal's food web. Schools of Amur travel through the upper waters in search of plankton and smaller prey. Its streamlined body is built for long movement through cold, oxygen-rich water. Natural cracks create brighter corridors beneath the frozen lake. Along the bottom, sculpins rely on camouflage rather than constant movement. Its shape allows it to rest securely where currents move across the lake bed. Small predators search the rocks for amphipods and other hidden invertebrates. The approach of the seal sends bottom-dwelling fish deeper into cover. The translucent golomyanka spends its entire life within Baikal's open water. Its light body contains unusually high levels of oil, helping it remain suspended at different depths. Golomyanka move vertically through the water column as light and temperature change. For the Nerpa, these abundant fish are an important source of energy. The hunt unfolds in 3 dimensions, without rock or vegetation to provide shelter. A sudden turn allows the fish to escape the first approach. When sight becomes limited, the seal relies increasingly upon vibration and movement. A brighter patch beneath the ice reveals another group above. The Nerpa rises quickly, using the pale ice to conceal its approach from below. Within a cloud of bubbles, the hunt reaches its hidden conclusion. With energy restored, the seal continues through the vast under-ice territory. Baikal's basin descends into depths greater than those of any other lake. Submerged slopes and canyons create many different habitats across the lake floor.
In some deep areas, gases and mineral-rich fluids rise naturally through the sediment. Specialized communities use resources released from the lake bed. Microorganisms form the foundation of food webs, where sunlight cannot reach.
Deep-water sculpins are adapted to darkness, pressure, and cold that remain almost constant.
Motionless against the sediment, the fish becomes difficult to distinguish from the bottom. Unlike most fish, the golemyanka produces live young directly into the open water. From the moment they enter the lake, the young must survive without shelter or parental care. Their survival depends upon abundant plankton and the protection offered by numbers. Young fish feed within the same plankton-rich waters that sustain countless other species.
A passing shadow sends the entire school into coordinated movement. Together, hundreds of small bodies behave like a single, shifting form. The underside of the ice provides a surface where microscopic algae can grow.
Small grazers feed directly beneath the frozen roof. From algae to amphipods, fish, and seals, the under-ice community forms a connected chain. The short winter day changes the underwater landscape, hour by hour. As surface light weakens, many fish shift toward darker and more stable depths.
The seal must return to air before darkness fully settles across the lake.
A familiar trail of light and bubbles leads back toward the surface. For a few moments, the hidden swimmer returns to the frozen world above. Warm breath enters air far colder than the water below. The mature Baikal seal leaves the water to rest before the coldest part of night. Across the frozen lake, each seal remains close to its own entrance into the water. Darkness settles over Baikal, transforming its frozen surface into a silver plain. Below the ice, moonlight reaches only the shallowest layers of the lake. In the depths, day and night differ little from one another. Touch and chemical signals become more important where vision offers little help. From the deepest floor to the frozen surface, Baikal supports life across an immense vertical world. Bubbles rising from below connect the hidden lake bed with the frozen world above. Above the hidden freshwater universe, Siberia enters another long and silent night. As darkness spreads beyond Baikal, the entire frozen dominion prepares to endure the longest hours of winter. Beyond Baikal, the long northern night settles across an almost immeasurable wilderness. During winter, darkness may dominate most of the day, leaving only a brief interval of pale light. The moon becomes the principal source of light across the frozen kingdom. Frozen rivers reflect what little light reaches the forest floor. Within the forest, darkness divides the landscape into narrow corridors of light and shadow. Every exposed surface gathers frost during the coldest hours. For the great gray owl, darkness is not an obstacle, but an advantage. Below, voles move beneath the snow, protected from wind, but not from sound. Its facial feathers direct the smallest vibrations toward hidden ears. Specialized feathers allow the owl to approach almost without sound. The strike passes through the snow into the hidden tunnels below. One successful hunt provides enough energy to continue through the night. Elsewhere, the lynx begins its solitary patrol beneath the moon. Broad feet allow the lynx to cross powder with little noise. Its eyes gather limited light, revealing movement within the forest shadows. Ahead, a mountain hare feeds during the quietest hours of night.
Camouflage offers protection only while the animal remains aware of its surroundings.
The hunter uses every shadow and fallen trunk to shorten the distance. The hare reacts first and disappears into cover before the lynx can reach it. In deep snow, a long pursuit would waste more energy than it could return. Across the open valley, wolves use the frozen night to travel great distances. The leader breaks the trail, reducing the cost of movement for the family behind. Young wolves turn travel into practice, testing speed and coordination in the snow. From higher ground, the pack listens for movement beyond the reach of sight. Their voices maintain contact and announce the pack's presence across the darkness. The pack continues toward the river, guided by memory and scent. On the open tundra, wild reindeer rest together beneath the winter stars. The calf depends upon its mother's warmth and the protection of the surrounding herd. Distant howls immediately awaken the vigilance of the outer animals. The herd moves before the hunters can approach, preserving distance across open ground. Within the forest, a bull moose continues feeding despite the surrounding darkness. Frozen stems provide little energy, forcing the giant to feed for many hours. The distant pack is heard, but the adult moose remains a formidable target. Dense trees offer protection from both wind and distant hunters. The wolverine uses the long night to search remote valleys for hidden food. Its compact body combines strength, endurance, and resistance to cold. In a sheltered clearing, the fox searches for movement beneath the snow. Sound guides a precise leap into the hidden tunnel below. The attempt fails, and the hunter must listen again. Adaptability and persistence carry the fox through the long hours. The ermine becomes almost invisible against the moonlit snow. Its slender body allows it to pursue prey directly into hidden passages. Beneath the silent surface, the night is filled with rapid movement. From above, the meadow appears lifeless, yet an entire community remains active below. Far to the east, the Amur tiger continues its solitary patrol through darkness. Its senses remain alert to scents and sounds concealed within the forest. Frozen waterways provide quiet routes between distant parts of its territory. Across the clearing, wild boar move together beneath the protection of numbers. The distance is too great, and the tiger allows the opportunity to pass. For a solitary hunter, patience is as important as strength. Above the forest, the snow leopard moves beneath a sky undimmed by artificial light. The mountain ghost crosses cliffs that remain dangerous even under clear moonlight. High above the valleys, wind lifts snow into glowing banners across the peaks. In low valleys, extreme cold condenses moisture into clouds close to the ground. Small forest hunters continue moving through a world reduced to scent, sound, and shadow. After many hours, the darkness begins to soften along the eastern horizon. Some animals prepare to rest, while others use the brief return of light to continue feeding. Before daylight can fully return, the northern sky awakens in a vast river of fire and color. Across the frozen dominion, charged particles from the sun transform the upper atmosphere into moving rivers of light.
Different gases and altitudes create separate colors within the luminous sky.
Frozen waterways become mirrors, carrying the colors of the sky through the dark forest. Even the smallest crystals capture the changing colors overhead. Beneath the moving sky, the reindeer continue along routes shaped by instinct and memory. For the calf, the extraordinary sky is simply another part of its first winter. On a neighboring ridge, wolves observe the movement of the herd from a safe distance. Their calls travel beneath the luminous sky, maintaining contact across the open country. Cold, distance, and darkness sharpen every sense needed for survival. The fox uses the frozen river as a direct route between distant feeding grounds. Within the forest, the aurora appears only in brief flashes between the branches. On the open tundra, the snowy owl stands beneath an unobstructed sky. When the luminous bands pass directly overhead, perspective gathers them into a radiant crown. The forest remains dark below, while the atmosphere burns silently above it. Delicate structures record the colors of the sky for only a few moments. Below the spectacle, the sable continues its quiet search through the trees. In low wetlands, the largest animal of the forest feeds beneath the changing light. Cold air traps moisture close to the ground, separating the animal from the sky above. Across Baikal, the frozen lake becomes one of the largest mirrors in Siberia. The Nerpa rests beside its entrance to the water, surrounded by colors it cannot depend upon for warmth.
The light above changes constantly, while the seal remains attentive to movement around the breathing hole.
Within the ice, trapped bubbles divide the auroral light into countless small reflections. Along the shore, ice caves gather colors from sky, stone, and frozen water. Above the lake and forest, the snow leopard moves through a sky-filled world of exposed ridges. The ibex remain beneath shelter, conserving warmth while the sky changes overhead. The eagle remains grounded through the night, protected from wind by the stone. Beneath the snow, the ptarmigan is insulated from both wind and the spectacle above. Some birds begin moving before dawn, using the brightest interval of the night. As geomagnetic activity strengthens, the quiet arc divides into countless moving folds. At greater altitude, oxygen may produce a faint red glow above the brighter green light. Directly overhead, parallel rays appear to meet in a luminous crown. For a brief interval, mountain, forest, and river lie beneath the same immense display. Where current keeps the river open, water reflects the sky in constant motion. Otters return briefly to the night air before continuing beneath the ice. Beside the same opening, the dipper waits for the first usable light of morning. Low mist softens the auroral light into subtle color above the valley floor. Far to the east, the Amur tiger patrols beneath a sky partly hidden by ancient trees. The tiger responds not to the sky, but to scent and movement within the forest. A family of wild boar crosses open ground, protected by alert adults and dense cover nearby. The opportunity is poor, and the tiger allows the group to pass. In another forest, the lynx pauses within a clearing briefly opened to the sky. The ermine remains nearly invisible against the colored snow. Below the snow, the aurora is unseen, and life continues within insulated darkness. Ancient trees stand motionless beneath light that changes from second to second. Stars remain visible through the aurora, far beyond the glowing upper atmosphere. Ice crystals in high cloud form a halo around the moon, while the aurora glows far above. Ice gathers several layers of the night sky into a single reflection. From the west, thick cloud begins to close over the luminous sky. The wind strengthens, announcing a change more immediate than the light above. Across the landscape, animals seek protection before the storm arrives.
For a few final moments, the aurora remains visible between the advancing clouds.
The final green light fades as snow begins to fill the forest. The sky of fire gives way to a moving wall of winter. Beneath exposed roots, the fox waits while the storm strengthens outside. Near dawn, the aurora fades into the strengthening light beyond the storm. Daylight returns, but the approaching storm remains over the western horizon. The night's journeys vanish quickly beneath the first layers of new snow. The wilderness becomes quiet again, not from darkness, but from the threat of violent weather. After the beauty of the burning sky, Siberia prepares to face the full fury of the storm. The advancing storm reaches the tundra first, where nothing stands between the wind and the frozen earth.
Loose snow becomes airborne, turning the surface into a moving layer of ice crystals.
The reindeer draw together before the storm can separate the weakest members. The strongest animals form a living barrier around the young. For the calf, survival depends upon remaining close enough to feel its mother through the whiteout. Emery guides the leaders toward ground, protected from the strongest wind. Only a small change in elevation creates enough shelter to conserve precious warmth. The snowy owl reduces its profile and allows the drift to shield it from the wind. Dense plumage protects even the eyes and legs from exposure. Below the tundra surface, the storm becomes little more than a distant vibration. Within the forest, trees slow the wind but carry the full weight of accumulating snow. The canopy divides the storm into sudden gusts and brief pockets of calm. Beneath the roots, the fox creates a small chamber of still air. Long guard hairs catch snow before moisture can reach the insulating layer below. The sable retreats into wood, where the temperature remains more stable than in open air. Dry plant material adds another layer of insulation within the shelter. The lynx continues moving, choosing sheltered ground where each step costs less energy. Broad paws help, but fresh powder still slows every movement.
When travel becomes too costly, even a hunter must wait.
The wolves remain in motion, following the river toward forest shelter. Leadership changes as the work of breaking trail becomes too demanding for one animal. The animal protects its eyes and nose while continuing to test the air. A sheltered riverbank finally breaks the force of the wind. The pack shares warmth, while one animal continues to watch the storm. The storm removes snow from one part of the river and piles it meters deep in another. Individual grains move like sand across the frozen surface. Below the frozen roof, the river remains protected from the violence above. The otters remain close to water, while the ice shelf blocks the wind.
When the surface becomes unbearable, the water below offers a more stable temperature.
In the mountains, the same storm becomes even more violent. The ibex abandon the ridge before wind removes all visibility. The adults choose routes protected by rock, allowing the young to follow. Stone offers protection unavailable anywhere on the open slope. Within the alcove, shared body heat protects the youngest animal. Even the mountain's most adapted predator cannot remain exposed for long. Its tail stabilizes every step as gusts strike from the side. Inside the cave, the tail becomes both blanket and shield. The storm builds a temporary wall of snow around the shelter. The golden eagle remains grounded until the mountain air becomes safe again. Beneath the snow, ptarmigan wait inside chambers warmer than the exposed air. Across Baikal, the storm travels uninterrupted over hundreds of kilometers of ice. Pressure ridges create rare pockets of shelter across the open lake. A raised slab blocks enough wind for the seal to remain near its breathing hole. The opening must remain clear, even while the storm tries to seal it. Below the ice, the seal escapes the wind and enters a more stable world. Inside a snow chamber, a mother and pup remain isolated from the full force of the blizzard. The pup's warmth is protected by the snow above and the mother beside it. Within the forest, the moose relies upon size, insulation, and the shelter of trees. Accumulated snow must be removed before it freezes into a heavier load. The mother's larger body creates a narrow refuge for the calf. Forest grouse bury themselves before the storm closes every opening. Beneath the surface, the birds remain warmer and protected from flying ice. Accumulated weight reshapes the forest long after the strongest gusts have passed. At its height, the storm erases every boundary between land and sky. Across the wilderness, survival depends upon stillness, shelter, and stored energy. After many hours, the wind begins to lose its strength. The horizontal fury softens into quiet, falling snow. Dawn reveals a landscape remade by wind, cold, and snow. One by one, the survivors return to a world whose paths and landmarks have changed. After the fury of the storm, a subtle change in the light carries the first promise that winter may not last forever. After months of unbroken cold, the first droplets of meltwater announce a change almost too small to notice. Each day, the sun climbs higher and remains above the horizon a little longer. South-facing rock absorbs enough warmth to begin loosening winter's grip. During the day, water begins to move, only to freeze again when shadow returns. The rhythm of melting and freezing reshapes the forest edge each day. Drop by drop, winter begins to lose its solid surface. On exposed ridges, the wind uncovers the first patches of vegetation. Food becomes easier to reach where sunlight and wind have thinned the snow. For the young, every exposed feeding patch reduces the struggle of the long journey. For the young, every exposed feeding patch reduces the struggle of the long journey. The changing surface reveals roots hidden throughout the deepest winter. A firmer surface allows the fox to travel with less effort. During cold mornings, the refrozen crust can support even a careful hunter. New sounds begin to enter a forest, once dominated by wind and silence.
Willow buds remain closed, but their growth has quietly begun.
Inside each bud, future leaves remain protected from the returning cold. The forest now divides into warmer and colder worlds, only centimeters apart. As daylight increases, fluids begin moving slowly within dormant trees.
Small birds quickly investigate new sources of moisture and energy. Longer daylight gives forest birds more time to search for food.
The first repeated calls and drumming begin to travel through the forest.
Sound once again connects birds across distances hidden by trees.
Along the rivers, narrow openings grow where current presses against weakening ice.
The river begins to reveal itself along the edges first.
Water moves beneath a roof that is becoming thinner each day. Increasing light begins to change activity beneath the river ice. Small freshwater communities respond before the changes become obvious above.
Open water gives the otters new space to hunt and travel.
Wet snow now provides a smoother path between river and bank. Wetlands awaken first around stems, roots, and places where sunlight reaches dark ground.
Green life has waited beneath the snow, protected from the coldest air.
Minute animals emerge onto the snow as temperatures rise above freezing for short intervals. Even predators smaller than a seed begin responding to the returning warmth.
On high slopes, ptarmigan gain access to plants buried for months. The first changes in plumage begin before the snow has disappeared. For mountain herbivores, each uncovered slope offers richer food than winter bark. Meltwater carries minerals across rock surfaces newly exposed to sunlight. As slopes warm unevenly, winter snow begins to shift and release.
The mountain hunter observes a landscape becoming less stable with each warm afternoon. The retreating snow creates a more complex world of stone, shadow, and exposed scent. Farther east, the tiger follows waterways beginning to emerge from beneath the ice.
Open water reduces the need to consume snow for moisture.
Softening snow preserves scent and tracks more clearly than the hard winter crust.
The boar can once again reach seeds and roots hidden beneath the forest floor. Young animals learn where the retreating snow exposes the richest ground. On Baikal, sunlight begins collecting meltwater across the frozen surface. Water now exists above, within, and beneath the same immense sheet of ice. Breathing holes become easier to maintain as sunlight weakens their frozen edges. The growing pup begins exploring beyond the protection of its snow shelter. Its white newborn coat will soon be replaced by fur suited to life in the water. Below, the mother continues feeding while the young remains above the ice.
fresh buds provide more nourishment than the dry branches of deep winter. The calf encounters the first new growth of its life. The wolves follow routes newly marked by water, scent, and exposed ground. Their heaviest winter fur will soon become unnecessary. Loose fur is gradually removed as temperatures begin to rise. From the south, the first returning travelers appear above the frozen valleys. Their voices carry a promise of open water, still far beyond the northern horizon. Beneath one forest slope, a sleeper begins to sense the changing season. Longer days, changing temperature, and internal rhythms begin drawing the bear toward wakefulness. Across Siberia, the first signs of spring have reached even the deepest sleepers beneath the snow. After months beneath the earth, the first breath of spring reaches the sleeping giant. Weak from a winter without feeding, the bear opens a path toward daylight. Its thick coat still carries the cold and dust of the underground shelter. The world outside has changed, but winter has not yet completely released the forest. Muscles unused for months must gradually regain their strength.
Each track becomes a small basin in the softening snow.
From the hillside, the bear surveys a territory hidden from it throughout the winter. Scent reveals where food, water, and other animals have returned to the landscape. The first journey leads toward lower ground where snow has already begun to retreat. Small insects provide an immediate source of protein when larger foods remain scarce. The decaying forest stores life beneath bark, even before spring fully arrives. For now, survival depends upon many small meals found across a wide area. Roots and bulbs help replace energy lost during the long sleep.
Beneath the melting boundary, new growth has already begun.
The sound of flowing water draws the bear toward the valley floor.
After months without drinking, open water becomes the first essential resource.
Every movement breaks the still patterns winter left behind. Shallow channels now open roots, once sealed beneath ice. Across the forest, another den is beginning to stir. Inside, two cubs, born during winter, have known only darkness and their mother's warmth. The cubs are small, dependent, and completely unfamiliar with the world outside. Changes in temperature and sound tell the mother that the season is turning. The mother begins opening a route for her first journey outside. Before bringing out the cubs, she studies the surrounding forest for danger. The snow carries a record of every animal that passed during the final days of winter. For the first cub, the outside world begins with blinding light and cold snow. Every texture, scent, and sound is entirely new. The second cub discovers that deep snow can be both obstacle and cushion. For now, the mother's body remains the safest place in the open forest. The cubs enter a territory far larger and more dangerous than their sheltered den. By following her footprints, the cubs conserve strength and remain close. Even a route becomes a lesson in climbing, balance, and confidence. The mother begins teaching them where food can be found before new plants fully emerge. Scent and imitation become their first guides to the forest's hidden food. The forest is still mostly white, but color is returning beneath every exposed tree. Ravens follow the bears, searching for food exposed by their powerful paws.
What the bear leaves behind becomes an opportunity for smaller animals.
Elsewhere, a large male begins searching the thawing valleys alone. His greater size demands more food and a wider search. As temperatures rise, the thickest winter fur begins to loosen. Small traces mark the paths of animals returning to activity. Wet meadows expose sedges and roots earlier than the shaded forest. Fresh sedges provide one of the first substantial plant foods of spring. Long claws uncover roots hidden beneath the saturated ground. Wolves share the same valley, but they keep their distance from the larger animal. Neither side gains from a confrontation, and distance resolves the encounter. Every trail introduces the cubs to another inhabitant of the forest. The print reveals the size of an animal the cub has not yet seen. Across the water, another mother guides her young through the changing season. With young cubs beside her, avoiding risk is more important than curiosity. The retreating snow opens a patchwork of feeding grounds across the valley. Sun-warmed stones awaken colonies hidden beneath the frozen ground. Many small sources of food together support the family during this lean season. Rising temperatures make the spring landscape increasingly unstable. Snow that remained fixed for months now begins moving under its own weight.
The moving water introduces the cubs to a world that never remains still.
Across the watershed, countless streams begin carrying winter away. The returning bears spread through separate valleys, each following its own search for food. Throughout Siberia, winter survivors now enter a season of movement, feeding, and renewal. With the bears awake, the great thaw begins to transform the frozen dominion from within. The warming river begins to break apart, releasing water imprisoned throughout the long winter. Current presses against weakened ice until the frozen surface separates into moving plates. Every fracture becomes a new passage for the returning current. Air sealed inside winter ice is released as the frozen layers weaken. The mother keeps the cubs away from ice that can no longer support their weight. Her trail guides them across ground, changing from frozen to soft beneath every step.
Across the basin, thousands of smaller streams begin feeding the growing river. High in the mountains, stored winter snow becomes moving water.
Moisture returns first to the smallest communities clinging to stone.
Mountain herds gather where fresh water emerges between snow and stone. In the lowlands, rising rivers reconnect channels separated throughout winter. Floodwater carries nutrients through roots, leaves, and newly thawed soil.
Temporary wetlands quickly fill with small animals released from winter dormancy.
The thaw gives otters access to channels sealed for months.
Flooded vegetation creates new hiding places for fish and new challenges for hunters.
A burst of speed divides the school, but dense roots provide escape routes. Fragments of winter briefly become resting platforms within the moving river. In sheltered backwaters, beavers return to channels opening around their winter lodge. Fresh willow provides both food and building material as the wetland expands.
Underwater entrances allow the beavers to move between food and shelter with protection.
The dam slows the current, creating quieter water used by many other species. In the warmest shallows, amphibians begin another generation. A frog emerges after surviving months of freezing temperatures beneath the forest floor.
Their calls are among the first voices of the newly opened wetlands. Returning swans follow the growing network of open water northward.
A lake still edged with ice provides the first resting place after migration. Dense plumage protects the travelers from water that remains close to freezing.
Every open pool becomes a temporary refuge for birds continuing farther north.
Shallow water allows ducks to reach seeds and invertebrates released from the thawing ground.
New willow leaves provide richer food than the branches that sustain them through winter.
Atkins open before the forest canopy returns, making use of unobstructed light. A queen bumblebee emerges to feed and search for a place to begin her colony.
A sheltered cavity may become the foundation of an entire summer colony. The forest floor reappears in patches of color beneath the retreating snow. A wider variety of food becomes available with every patch of exposed ground.
The mother chooses open feeding ground where she can watch both cubs and approaching danger.
Imitation begins teaching the cubs which plants can be eaten. On Baikal, the frozen surface begins separating into immense, moving fields.
The Nerpa uses the remaining ice as a platform between feeding dives. The young seal now carries the coat needed for a life spent largely underwater. Its first journeys beneath the ice are guided by the experienced adult.
Increasing light accelerates activity throughout the lake's hidden food web.
From mountain snow to the deepest lake, water reconnects the entire Siberian wilderness. Habitats empty only weeks before now support a growing diversity of life. At every scale, the thaw prepares the landscape for reproduction and growth. The great thaw has replaced the silence of winter with water, movement, and returning voices. With the frozen world opened by water, Siberia enters its most demanding season, the season of new life. Across the thawing tundra, the smallest tracks announce the arrival of a new generation. Born within a sheltered hollow, the calf must become mobile within only a short time. Its first challenge is simply to stand upon legs that have never carried weight. Within minutes, uncertainty begins turning into balance. The herd offers many eyes against danger during the calves' most vulnerable days. Hunters observe from afar, measuring the strength and attention of the herd. Alert adults make this opportunity too dangerous, and the wolves conserve their strength.
Below the tundra plants, another mother begins building a much smaller family.
Stored pollen will support the first workers of the summer colony.
Flowers open rapidly, using every hour of the short northern growing season.
Within the willow marsh, a cow moose has also entered the season of birth. Hidden among the sedges, a calf begins life on the edge of the flooded forest.
The mother's attention stimulates movement and strengthens the bond between them.
Its unusually long legs are essential for following the mother through deep water and dense vegetation. Within its first day, the calf must learn to cross water and uneven ground. A hidden hunter studies the calf, but the mother remains close and alert. Her size and powerful legs make a direct approach far too dangerous.
The lynx disappears, leaving the calf to continue its first journey.
For the bear cubs, every day brings new ground, new food, and new danger.
Climbing strengthens muscles that may one day provide escape from danger.
The cubs learn by watching where their mother searches and what she chooses to eat.
Play develops balance, strength, and the social skills needed later in life.
A shadow overhead is enough to bring the cubs back to their mother. Once the danger passes, the mother leads the cubs into thicker cover. Within a hidden riverbank den, the wolf pack is raising its newest members.
The pups enter a world filled with unfamiliar light, scent, and sound.
Raising young is shared across the pack, allowing the mother time to rest and feed.
Play begins teaching the movements that will later become pursuit, balance, and cooperation. Returning adults strengthen family bonds before leaving again to search for food.
At least one guardian remains near the pups, while the others range across the territory. Along a warmer forest edge, another den has begun to fill with movement. The kits still carry muted coats that help conceal them beside earth and shadow. Their games rehearse the quick turns and precise leaps of adult hunters.
The parent must hunt repeatedly to support growing young waiting at the den.
In the open wetlands, crane pairs protect nests surrounded by shallow water.
Regular turning keeps the developing chicks evenly warmed. Berries begin converting the summer sun into concentrated energy. Where fish gather in shallow water, the forest offers a richer source of protein. Experience allows the mother to turn a brief movement beneath the water into a meal. The cubs observe a skill they will need to practice for years.
Young foxes begin hunting the smallest prey independently. Failure becomes practice, improving timing with every leap.
Deep within the forest, lynx kittens begin following their mother beyond the den. Logs and roots become training grounds for balance and silent movement. The kittens learn that hunting begins long before a chase. Young sable develop agility among branches before traveling alone. A young wolverine learns to travel across terrain where food may be separated by many kilometers. Far to the east, tiger cubs begin exploring a forest dense with summer life.
Play rehearses the concealment, timing, and strength needed by an adult hunter. The mother introduces her cubs to the scents that define their territory. Wild boar piglets remain close to the sow while learning to search the forest floor.
With inexperienced cubs beside her, the tigress avoids a dangerous encounter with an alert sow. In the high mountains, snow leopard cubs begin life within a hidden stone nursery.
Their first lessons involve stone, balance, and the security of remaining close. Young ibex turn the mountain into a place of play and rapid learning.
Each controlled jump builds the skill needed to escape future danger.
The young eagle prepares for a first flight that cannot be practiced on the ground.
Rising air carries the fledgling across its first uncertain meters of open sky.
Ptarmigan chicks gather the protein and plant food needed for rapid growth.
Above the tree line, summer compresses an entire growing season into a few bright weeks. Baikal has released its winter ice and opened a vast freshwater world to the sky. Summer has filled Siberia with life, but the first colors of change already reveal that the cycle is turning once again.